OpenAI's ChatGPT has finally some serious competition with the release of Claude 2, Anthropic's free LLM that has already surpassed ChatGPT with its 100,000 token size limit. Hello humans, my name is KU Overload, and yes, you heard it right, Claude 2 is now ChatGPT's most serious competitor with its 100,000 token size limit. And in this video, we're gonna be testing it out against GPT-4. Alright, so Claude 2, the new LLM from Anthropic, that is apparently, from what they say, is extremely smart, because apparently their previous model, Claude 1, scored a 76.5% of the multiple choice section of the bar exam, and when compared to college students applying for graduate school, Claude 2 scored above the 90th percentile of the GRE reading and writing exams. And of course, as I said previously, one of its biggest competitive advantages over GPT-4 is its 100,000 token size limit, meaning that you can basically input an entire book or even a very long technical documentation and then ask Claude to summarize it for you. So like for example, in this video you will see that the person will upload two different papers with a total article size of 83,000 tokens, and then it's gonna ask Claude 2 to basically summarize these two papers, and it's gonna do it very easily, and then even create an entire table from those papers. Which, I mean, yeah, it's really impressive. And apparently Claude 2 is also very good at coding because it scored at 71.2% on the Codex Human Eval test, which is basically a very famous Python coding test that is used to test LLM coding skills. But now let's actually try this out ourselves and see how good it actually is. And if you want to try it out yourself for free, you can actually do it. You can click the link in the description down below and create a new account. But also keep in mind that as of right now, it is only available for people living in the US and UK. However, do not worry, if you use a VPN to create a new account, just like I did, you'll be able to use it for free. So just go on Google, search for some free VPN, and then use it to create a new account. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a very simple summarization. I'm just gonna upload a paper. I'm gonna use my long neck paper that I still have from my previous video, and then I'm gonna ask something like, summarize this paper in details. Now, it is a fairly long paper, but apparently it is not a problem for Claude, because as you can see, very quickly, we get a very detailed explanation on the entire paper. And this is really good. And yeah, as you can see, we have some very interesting and very detailed overview and very simple explanation on the entire paper, even though the entire paper is like 15 pages long. However, now when it comes to summarization, I really want to try something else, because apparently what I read is that since you have like 100,000 token size limit with Claude 2, you could apparently, in theory, summarize an entire book. And one of the example book that was given was The Great Gatsby, which is apparently around 75,000 tokens long. So I basically found this book in the EPUB format, and I'm gonna try to feed it into Claude 2 to see if it can summarize the entire book. So now if I select the file, and then if I ask, what is the title of this book, and can you summarize the story? So now if I press enter, and as you can see, it managed to find the title of the book and create a short summary, which is very impressive. However, in this case, I'm not even sure that it took information from the EPUB document that I uploaded, because technically The Great Gatsby is a very famous book that has already a lot of online summaries. So I'm not even sure that it took any information from the file that I uploaded. And this is something that could be maybe more interesting if I choose a book that is maybe a little bit unknown by the public. So maybe if I go on a website like gutenberg.org and I click on random books, I will see here a bunch of random books that was provided to me that I can then select, like for example, I don't know, that like The Social Secretary by David Graham Phillips, that I obviously never heard before, and that I can download in a bunch of different formats. So now if I download the EPUB format and I try again, and then of course I'm gonna use the same prompt, what is the title of this book and can you summarize the story? And of course, once again, very quickly, we got not only the title of the book, but also the entire summary. So this is definitely not some information that he took online. So yeah, as you can see, this is very impressive stuff. It was able to basically read the entirety of the book and then do a short summary. This is really cool. Again, I wish I had that when I was in school. This would have definitely saved me a lot of time. However, now let's see if GPT-4 can actually do the same thing. So now if I upload the same book and ask the exact same question, what is the title of this book and can you summarize the story? And unfortunately, for some reason, it was not able to do so. Now it was able to find the title of the book, which is The Social Secretary, but for some reason it was not able to do the summarization of the story. say? Like something about some library that was required that was not available. So in the end we have the title of the book but not the summary. So yeah, I mean it seems like in this case, Claude 2 is definitely the winner. And also speed-wise, because it was able to do this very quickly, while GPT-4 actually took like maybe like 3-4 minutes to analyze the book for it in the end to tell me that it was not able to do so. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed here. I mean, I'm disappointed by GPT-4, but I'm definitely impressed by Claude 2. Especially because Code Interpreter is a paid feature, whereas Claude 2 is absolutely free. So yeah, I mean, not really difficult to give the point to Claude here. Okay, so the next thing that I kind of want to do, before we do some other tests, is actually something that I wanted to try out in my previous GPT-4 video. And that is how good it is at role-playing. That's right. However, we're not going to be using simple roleplay here. Since we have the ability to actually upload a file, how about uploading a file from a character sheet that you would use inside the text generation web UI? So for example, here I have a bunch of YAML and .json file that basically show and describe the character's personality and the way they talk, and that again I would usually use inside the web UI to talk to that character. However, if now I upload this file inside Claude 2 and then ask something like, can you pretend to be this cool character and talk with me? And now if I press enter, well, what do we have here? Looks like the start of a new conversation with my original character, which is really super cool, because now that we have a 100,000 token size limit, we could have conversation for hours without forgetting any important information. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to role-playing, Claude 2 might become your go-to. Cause I mean, definitely if you want to have some roleplay, it's way better if you have a 100,000 token size limit. Yeah, I know, shocker. So yeah, I mean, if you are into the whole role-playing stuff, I think that for this, using Claude 2 could be absolutely fantastic. Now, obviously, I'm gonna say it to you right now, the model is obviously censored. I mean, this is pretty obvious, so don't expect to do some sexy schmexy roleplay or even trying to introduce some not safe for work character, because obviously Claude will refuse your request. Now, I'm pretty sure that some people will find a way to circumvent that filter. I mean, people back in the day very quickly managed to circumvent the GPT-4 filter, so I'm sure that this time will also be the case. But when it comes to the base raw model, it is obviously censored. I know, it's a bummer, but it is what it is. The 100,000 token size limit is still a pretty cool addition that really opens a lot of possibility. So again, that's really cool. So now how about I do the exact same test that I did in my previous GPT-4 video with Code Interpreter, and I upload some data and ask Claude 2 to do some summarization. So like here, for example, is gonna be some data about the Tesla stock, and if I write something like, here's the EOD data from Tesla stock from 2010 to 2020, take a look and tell me what you find. And again, just like that, just like the previous GPT-4 video, it managed to basically analyze the CSV file and then write some key observation about the Tesla stock price. Now, which is good and all, but remember that Code Interpreter could actually create images and graphs based on the data and information provided in the file. And this is not really something that Claude can do. Now, it cannot do graphs, but it can probably do a table. So maybe if I say something like, can you create a table from this data? And there we go, we get a very simple table with some statistic and the corresponding value and also a short summary. So again, it's not bad, but compared to GPT-4 Code Interpreter, it's definitely way more limited. Because I mean, when you look at the kind of graphs that the Code Interpreter can do in only a few seconds, Code Interpreter is definitely a little bit more usable. So now how about we do some coding test? And I really would like to create a simple game. So maybe something like create a simple HTML game based on Pong. So now if I press enter and we get something like this, a very long code. I mean, it seems very complete. It says that this implements a simple Pong game with basic ball and paddle mechanics. The paddle is controlled using the left and right arrow keys, and you can modify the code further to add game over conditions, scoring, AI opponent, etc. to make it more complete. So I mean, it seems like the code is incomplete in a way, because it still asks to add some game over conditions, scoring, and AI opponents. So maybe if I ask, can you make the code more complete? Modify the code further to add game over conditions, scoring, AI opponent, etc. I mean, again, I don't want to do the work myself here. Okay, and we get something like this, some JavaScript code that basically apparently keep track of the score, move the AI paddle automatically, check the game over, and display the score on the screen. But again, I kinda don't want to, you know, copy and paste two different codes, so I'm gonna ask, can you please merge the two codes together so that it's easier for me to copy and paste? Okay, and now here's the full code with the additions merged together, which seems good. So this has the full playable pawn game with scoring, game over conditions, and a basic AI opponent. You can build on top of this further to enhance it. Okay, good. Seems good enough for me. Okay, so now if I copy the entire code and I put it inside an HTML file, and now if I launch it, we get something like this, which, whoa, okay, wait. Okay, wait. So I'm either really bad at the game or the code does not work very well. Okay, wait. So I'm either really bad at the game. Wait a second. Oh, it's actually really difficult to play. I mean, wait, wait, what? Game over, final score 3-5. What? Well, I definitely touched the ball here. It was supposed to go back. What? So yeah, it seems like there's a little problem with the code here, my guy. So what if I say something like, the code is not correct, there are some mistakes somewhere, because each time my paddle hits the ball, I lose a point to the opponent. And there is also no opponent. So now if I press enter, and then we get, you're right, there are some bugs in the code that needs fixing. The ball collision detection is incorrect. It's awarding points to the opponent when the player's paddle hits the ball. This needs to be fixed. Then 2, the AI opponent paddle is not actually being drawn. We need to add that. And then 3, the AI paddle movement logic needs fixing. Okay, so that's great, but now I want you to rewrite the entire code. Okay, so now rewrite the entire code with those changes so that I can simply copy and paste it. Okay, so there you go. We have now the updated code. So let's hope that it works this time. So I'm gonna put it again right here. Then reload the HTML file to get something like, whoa, what's going on? I'm not doing anything. I'm not controlling anything. This is really just my opponent falling from the sky constantly and me not moving with the ball also not moving. So maybe if I refresh the page, yep, it's well, there you go. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to coding, it's maybe not that good. But I mean, let's compare it with GPT-4 with Code Interpreter, and I'm gonna ask the exact same thing, create a simple HTML game based on Pong, and there you go, we got a very long code, and it says that here in this game, the player's paddle is controlled by the W and S keys to move up and down, and the computer's paddle automatically moves to follow the ball. The ball bounces back when it hits a paddle, and it also bounces off the top and bottom of the screen. There is no score keeping in this simple version, the ball will just move off the screen if it gets past the paddle. You can enhance this game by adding scoring or adding multiplayer functionality. And just like with Claude 2, let me actually ask GPT-4 to make the code more complete. Can you make the code more complete? Modify the code further to add game over conditions, scoring, AI opponent, and make it so I can move the paddle using the up and down arrow keys instead of W and S. Okay, and now we got the updated code. So in this version of the game, the player scores a point whenever the ball hits the computer side of the screen, and the computer scores a point whenever the ball hits the player's side. The game ends and a message is displayed when either the player or the computer reaches 10 points. The player's paddle is now controlled with the up and down arrow keys, and the computer's paddle moves toward the balls at all times, but it moves at a slower speed than the player's paddle. Okay, I mean, seems good to me. So now if I come here and I copy the code and I paste it in a new HTML file, and now if I launch it, we get the new Pong game. And I mean, yeah, I mean, compared to the Claude 2 code, this definitely works way better. I mean, yeah, it's a little slow, so I could probably ask like GPT-4 to maybe like increase the speed a little bit, but I mean, this definitely works. So let me just, you know, try to score a point if I can, because I mean, this is really slow. So it probably would take me like 10 minutes trying to score a point, but I mean, as you can see, it works perfectly fine. I could probably again just modify the code whenever I want, but the base code definitely works better than the code made by Claude. Yeah, definitely way better. So yeah, I mean, in this case, GPT-4 is definitely the winner. Like, there is absolutely no competition. When it comes to coding, GPT-4 with Code Interpreter is still the king. So yeah, there you go, this was Claude 2. A really super powerful LLM that is now really the direct competitor to GPT-4. With its high intelligence and the 100 token size limit, it is absolutely fantastic when it comes to summarization of long books or very long and complex papers newspapers, or if you are into the whole role-playing stuff, as long as it's not safe for work. And although GPT-4's content interpreter is still way better when it comes to coding, having a free alternative with a 100,000 token size limit is always a good news for us consumers, especially because again it's completely free. And talking about free and news, if you're interested in always staying up to date to the latest AI news, trends, tools, and research, you should definitely subscribe to my new free AI newsletter called The AI Gaze that will allow you to always know what's happening in the AI space. The link for it will be in the description down below. And there we have it, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you also so much to my YouTube and Patreon supporters for supporting my videos. You guys are absolutely awesome. You people are the one who support me so I can make these videos for you, so thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.